All right. Today's session is by far the easiest for me because storytelling comes to me very easily. I mean, it's so natural to me. I've been doing this since childhood. दोस्तों को इकट्ठा करके I used to tell stories to them. I was quite famous for it in school as well. And we think that we remember concepts and philosophies. No, we don't remember concepts. We remember stories, illustrations, anecdotes, experiments, analogies. Okay, so in a word, let's call them as stories. So story doesn't mean once upon a time ek raja tha, rani thi. Not just that, those stories. Stories could be a one-line story also. Yesterday while coming from office, blah, blah, blah happened. It's a story. It's an anecdote. It's an experience, right? So the moment, for me, a story, the definition of story is when you say something which generates a picture in your mind, then it's a story for me. The tiger is running. Hua kuch? Yeah. There is, I painted a picture on your mental canvas. It's a story. Okay. So, I don't know the technical definition. For me, the easiest way to engage somebody, why my sessions have the maximum engagement from the audience is because I make use of stories. Okay. Philosophy झाड़ने लगते हैं तो लोग बोर होने लगते हैं. But of course, philosophy is not is always useful. But if it delivered in the form of stories, it becomes very easy not only to focus on but to remember as well. Yeah. And so one of our favorite genres, more than me, Farid loves this genre of collection of short stories. Am I loud and clear? Just give me a thumbs up. Am I loud and clear? Yeah. So I'll just show you a few of the books which have got some amazing collection of short stories. This is a very this genre was invented by, I think, Jack Canfield, the chicken soup guy, chicken soup of the soul, chicken soup for the teenage. Yeah, he has got an amazing story. When he came out with this idea of collection of short stories, which was never tried before. There are full-length novels, fat novels of 300 pages, 500 pages. And then he came out with this unique, unusual, and unconventional idea of, and he did not write those stories. Yeah, the stories were written by somebody else, and he decided to give credit to all those story writers and compile those stories and print and publish a book. How many times Jack Canfield must have been rejected by the publishers? Can you guess the number? It was 128 times. 128 times Jack Canfield was rejected by various publishers. I mean, I would have quit after 3, probably. Something is wrong with me. This will not work, right? So I think this is a very, very good example that more the number of no's for your ideas, better the idea. So go for it. Yeah. And chicken soup has become an all-time hit. Yeah. So I and Farid, share lots of stories with each other. Whenever we read a story, we share with each other on the dining table. And this is one of my favorite books, Dronacharya at Workplace. Can you see the book? Dronacharya at Workplace, written by Meghdut Karnik. Again, it's a collection of short stories which covers workplace short stories. Very interesting name, Dronacharya at the Workplace. Then Prakash Iyer is one of the renowned authors of India. And last week, I think I covered his book, The Secret of Leadership, which is again a collection of stories. Yeah. Stories to awaken, inspire, and unleash the leader within you. Prakash Iyer, he has written many books, Habit of Winning. We are great fans of Prakash Iyer. We have covered almost all his books. Another Don't Jump to Conclusion, written by Mandar Chitre. Again, is this very good collection of short stories. I've covered this in Booklet. Sudha Murthy, again, very, very good writer, has written amazing short stories. Kushwant Singh is again a great writer. So I'm going to share some great stories, which have created a unique place in my heart forever. I'll never forget those stories. because they had a profound impact on my psychology. Yeah, the one book which I read was a Chinese philosophy, Chinese book. The name is very very difficult to pronounce, so I don't remember the name. So once there was a guy who was a big time miser. There was a big time miser in a village, and he was a very very rich wealthy guy. Uh, but everybody hated him because he was a miser, एक number का कंजूस. And he used to wonder why people don't respect me. He started saying to the whole village that look, मैं भरने के बाद सब मेरा धन आपका होने वाला है. So please respect me. Okay, मैं कुछ लेके नहीं जाऊंगा. Everybody I'll give to the villagers and when I leave this world. Yeah. So he tried to convince the whole village that please don't hate me. Okay, I need respect from you. Although I'm not contributing right now, I'm going to give everything to you just before I die or on my death. And one fine day he was going through a forest. It started raining cats and dogs, so he seemed to take a shelter under a tree, and he saw a cow and a pig talking to each other, and he was listening to the discussion. And pig seems to complain to the cow that why everybody loves you and people hate me. They don't even take me closer. Why is it? Even I help. I can be of help to the mankind. I give flesh, and people can eat me on my death. So why is it that people love you only? And the answer that the cow gave to the pig was that people believe in your current behavior, not your future behavior. I give to the mankind now in the present, not in the future, in the form of milk and the derivatives of milk. And he says that people believe our current behavior, not our future behavior. Howsoever promises you make that I will contribute to the society on my death. Typically people say that I'll first make money. I'll make money for myself till the age of 55, and then I will give it back to the society. And they say this at the age of 30, 35. People will not believe you. People don't care what you do in the future. People see the present. And that's why a cow said that I give in the present in the form of milk on daily basis, not just on my death. Right. And this created a profound impact on my psyche. That I was thinking that okay, पहले मैं stock market में बहुत सारा पैसा कमाऊंगा, for me and my family till the age of 40, and then give it back to the society. No, what is the guarantee? बीच में मैं टपक गया तो फिर क्या गया? What about giving back to the society? Gone. So affordability is not in your pocket. It is in your mind. How much you can share has nothing to do with how much you have. पहले तो दिमाग से निकाल दो कि I should have lot of things with me. Only then I can share with others. It's not just money and material things that you can share or give it back to the society. Yeah. Whatever I have, थाली में जो भी है, अगर 2 चपाती है तो I'll give 1. एक चपाती है तो उसकी आधी है तो उसकी आधी. Yeah. And people are doing this. You don't have to wait for the someday or the right time to start giving. All right. And that changed my approach. So I was thinking when I got this idea of Booklet, making summaries of best-selling books, I was thinking I'll make all 500 summaries of these books and then start a startup by launching an app. I said, no, why? उसके लिए तो 1 साल लगेगा. Let me get started. One summary हो गया. Let me share it. Thanks to this story. Usually क्या होता है? We create something and then launch it after 6 months. No, gone are those days now. There is nothing called launching. People don't care about launch because of internet. People are just a click away, and you just start giving. And look, people advertise a lot. They spend a lot to tell about their services. I think this story helped me, to change my approach towards advertising. So what is advertising? To talk about your services. Yeah. But because of the sheer number of advertisements we are exposed to today, the effectiveness of advertisements have gone. So the message here is, I was talking about advertisement. Yeah. So people spend a lot to create a budget. So advertisement is about talking about your services, right? Why, instead of talking about the services, I started serving people, right? Why not use the budget that you have earmarked for advertising, use that money for serving people for free, so that at least they can get the experience of your products and services, about your offerings, and that will act as an advertisement instead of just talking about them, right? So this was an interesting story about that miser guy. Uh, there is a psychology of that expensive things are good. कुछ महंगी रहेगी मतलब अच्छी रहेगी is a normal norm nowadays. So there were two brothers. They had this garment and tailoring shop. So they used to stitch shirts and suits and blazers. And so both were doing very well. They're two very smart brothers. And so the customer came to the counter. One of the brothers was inside doing the stitching, and one brother was at the counter to attend to the customers. So the customer says that so that brown wala coat kitne ko hai, which has got fur on it. And the brother at the counter says that listen, I have a hearing problem, and this is not my main job. I'm actually a tailor, but today we switched the roles. So my brother is inside and I'm at the counter, but I'm not the right person, and because I have a hearing problem. So I'll just call my brother and ask him what is the real price of this blazer. So he shouts from outside. He doesn't go inside. He shouts. So the customer is listening the conversation between the brothers, and he shouts, "अरे वो भैया, वो जो ब्राउन कलर की कोट जो दीवार पे लटकाई है वो कितने को है?" And he says, 900 कौन सी वाली? वो ब्राउन वाली ना जिसपे फर है? हाँ हाँ वही वही, हाँ 900 कितना? 400? तो नहीं नहीं 900 अच्छा अच्छा 400 ठीक है. This is how, and the conversation ends, and the customer is listening all these things, and he interprets that he misheard the brother. The quote is actually for 900 rupees, but he heard it as 400. And the brother at the counter says that bhaiya ye 400 rupees ki hai. And he comes to know, the customer comes to know what's going wrong, but he keeps quiet. He sees an opportunity in this miscommunication, and फटाफट वो 900 रुपए की चीज 400 को मिल रही है, चलो सीधा सीधा 500 रुपए का फायदा है. So he immediately buys and rushes away before the miscommunication gets revealed between the brothers. And suddenly both the brothers start laughing. It was actually a strategy between the brothers. So the quote was actually of 200 rupees, which was sold for 400 rupees. Now, I don't know whether it is ethical or not. It's just a message that expensive is good, right? So there is some artificial crowd created by people at the stalls. तो उनके ही लोग रहते हैं, और जहाँ पे भीड़ रहती है हमको जाने का मन करता है, right? Because we like to follow the herd. So अभी देखा आपने रास्ते पे कुछ भीड़ रहेगी, कोई कुछ कर रहा है, कुछ बेच रहा है, तो we naturally get curious to go and see. And if everybody is buying that thing, the probability of us buying the product increases. So these are all marketing strategies. It's up to you whether to use them or not. I never used it, but a very funny and interesting story. See how stories can help you to come out with creative ideas. So do you know this auction idea where I auction my books? Yeah, once in a month or twice a month. So I got this idea from Mahatma Gandhi's story. It's a real life story of Gandhiji. So there was untouchability and sati was a big problem in India in those days during the British Raj. And Gandhiji was getting frustrated because it was increasing day by day. Okay? And the widows were compelled to give up their lives after the death of their husband. And untouchability, chhoot and achhoot was a very, very serious problem in those days. And Gandhiji came out with a new term called Harijan. Harijan Samaj, which is for the backward people. Uh, so he wanted to start campaigns all over India, and it needed funds. So how to raise funds for his campaigns? He started traveling. He wanted to travel across India. So he came up with an idea. Gandhiji was very popular, of course, needless to mention that. And people always wanted to meet him, talk to him. So he thought that how about selling my autograph for 5 rupees. So in those days, 5 rupees was a big thing. And then whatever money will come, we'll use it for this campaign. So wherever he used to go, he used to. There was his grandson Arun Gandhi was given this job of collecting the diaries or papers where people wanted the autograph of Gandhiji, collect all of them and ensure that there is a 5 rupee note inside the diary. Gandhiji used to check and then give an autograph and give back the diaries to the respective people through Arun Gandhi. So it's a very interesting idea. Now the story continued later on with a different message, but I'll stop here because I got an idea through this story. I thought that okay, fine, मैं गांधी जी जितना इतना महान तो नहीं हूँ कि people will buy my autograph. उतनी तो औकात है नहीं. But how about books read by Booklet guy with all the markings, highlights on them with my side notes and scribbling, and people by let's see, I'd auction those books once in a month, twice a month. Let's see how. And so the first book I guess was The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. I thought it will be a safe bet. I had 2 copies of that book, and both had markings of mine because पहले बहुत साल पहले पढ़ा था, फिर recently वापस पढ़ा था मैंने. And I put it on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and I said that I had bought it for 300 rupees, but obviously 300 rupees was the of the brand new book. Since I have used it, let's start the base price for bidding as 200. Can you guess what was the highest bidding for the book? It went up to 5,000 rupees within 2 days. Now, obviously, see, it's a very good message that people come to you for why you do, not for what you do. It is stupidity to say that people gave me 5,000 rupees for the book. Come on. A brand new book costing for 300 rupees was available a click away on Amazon.com. But somebody wanted to buy an old book, used book, which was literally out of shape. Not completely out of shape. I had maintained it, but obviously purana hua tha, and he wanted to pay 10 times more of the brand new price. Don't you think this is very interesting? People come to you for why you do, not for what you do. Obviously, the person was not giving the money for the book, but for the higher purpose of the mission Make India Great. So always bring this higher purpose. Talk about your higher purpose. Don't talk about your products and services. Okay, a fitness trainer offering is about workouts. That is his what. What is the why? Find out it and talk about it passionately. I barely talk about Booklet app. I've been talking it for the last 25 minutes. How many times did I talk about Booklet app? Not even once. Yeah, I've been talking about what I read from the books, the stories. I'm sharing my stories, right? So, and since then, this has become a main revenue stream for Booklet, the auction thing. So whenever we are in a hand-to-mouth situation, we come out with some book, put it on auction on all the social media, and then the money problem is solved. We use it as a backup because we don't want to be looked at as a booksellers. We are not booksellers. Yeah. So very interesting stories around these that people get very emotional. So one guy said that I saw so he was the highest bidder for Atomic Habits, and he said, Amrut, I know that you read this book when you were going to Chennai. I said, how do you know this? Yes, I was reading this book while flying to Chennai. I was surprised. Were you there on the flight? And he said, no, I saw the boarding pass, which you used as bookmarker, which was there inside the book. And that delighted me a lot. I said, wow. So I have this habit of using tickets and boarding passes as bookmarkers wherever I travel. uh, so, nowadays people use the word idea a lot. I don't like this word idea. I have an idea of a startup. The problem with this word is that it becomes very serious, and the moment you ask for the feedback, people become very defensive. So instead of using the idea or words like startup, use the word experiment. So I have a friend called Sushil. He's actually managing this meeting, and he's an aspiring social worker and politician. We became quick friends within no time, and we are really working hard. I really want him to grow as a politician, and I'm acting as a mentor, trying to give all the knowledge and wisdom that I've gathered from all those 2000 books. So I thought, let's get started with something. How about a magical wardrobe? Jaducha kapat. So I and Sushil managed to get a wardrobe, a small wardrobe. And I just wrote a message. It is Marathi, I'll tell it in English, that I had too many excess clothes in my wardrobe. So I got some of the excess ones and kept in this magical wardrobe so that somebody needy can use my extra clothes. That's all. मराठी मध्ये जास्त चांगलं वाटतं ऐकायला. So I'll say it in Marathi. माझ्याकडे माझ्या कपाटात गरजेपेक्षा जास्त कपडे होते, म्हणून मी काही कपडे या जादूच्या कपाटात ठेवले, जेणेकरून गरजू लोक ज्यांच्याकडे कपडे नाहीत त्यांना ते कपडे मिळो. नो प्रीचिंग. सो द लास्ट लाइन, देयर वाज नो लाइन दॅट तुम्ही पण असं करा, यू टू ऑल्सो डू. नो, नथिंग. ओनली प्रॅक्टिस, नो प्रीचिंग. And made a nice poster, and just beneath my house we put that wardrobe and the poster, and wonders, all हमारे मोहल्ले के सब लोग वहां पे कपड़े रखने लगे, and needy people started taking out clothes, and it's doing well. Now, more than the idea, I told Sushil, now obviously whenever we try something new, we are not sure, we are hesitant. Idea chalegi ki nahi, you're always have this anxiety. So here, reverse psychology helps a lot. You know what's reverse psychology? I learned this from Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt was running his last lap, Olympic finals for the gold. He was running for his gold medal in Olympics. And when he takes a stance before running, what are the thoughts running in his mind? Usually क्या बोलेंगे वो athletes? देश को जिताना है, मेरा भारत देश या मेरा जो भी देश है. No, millions of people have expectations from me. I should give my best, give my 100%. 5 साल मैंने मेहनत की है, right? These are the thoughts should be coming to your mind. No, this will only create fear in your mind. Usain Bolt, what he thinks when he's on the stance just before the on your mark, set, get, go, और वो जो क्लैप बजता है, उस वक्त उसके मन में ख्याल क्या रहते हैं? आज रात को पिक्चर कौन से दिखेंगे? आज रात को क्या खाएंगे? किस दोस्त को बुलाएंगे घर पे? Such casual stupid thoughts he allows to enter into his mind. See, you can't do anything at that point. It's all the hard work that you have put in for last 5 years. Nothing is going to change in that moment, right? Kitna bhi mental toughness agar kuch bhi karo. So what I learned from this is, and no wonder Usain Bolt is one of the most successful athletes. I think 8 gold medals. Yeah. Michael Phelps with the 23 gold medals jite, isne 8 jite. So what I learned is, treat your performance day as your practice session, and your practice session as the performance day. So when you are performing, okay, think your practice है, कुछ नहीं मुझे फालतू करना है. I want to give the worst performance. सब flop करना है. In fact, I do this every time whenever I go for a talk. अभी भी whenever I have sessions offline, online, you know what I tell myself? सबसे वाहियात, फालतू, घटिया talk मुझे देना है. And suddenly you might think ये क्या stupidity है? He's lying. No, I do this. By doing this, all the guards are dropped. Now that I have made myself naked virtually, I don't have any fear of loss because I have to give the worst thing from me. Abhi kya? Abhi to, no, are you getting my point? You try this. Trust me, it really works. Okay. So same goes with my workout. So when I go to the terrace, we are 3-4 people, nobody's watching, no audience. That time I think that it's the finals of Olympics and I'm doing my pull-ups. So जहाँ पे 15 जा रहे वहाँ पे मैं 17 मारूं. And I literally imagine that it's Wankhede Stadium. हजारों लोग खचाखच भरा हुआ है. Everybody, the applause, and a trumpet of IPL, and I have to give my best during the practice session. So treat your practice session as a performance day so that you get serious. The practice session, you tend to become casual. Masti, music, gappe dappe, रोज का वही है ना, nothing new in it. So वहाँ पे reverse psychology works a lot. Always do this. And so whenever you work on a new idea, decide that it's going to go flop. I'm going to work on this idea to make it a flop idea. ये जिद पकड़ के करो. आप बोलोगे फिर ऐसा करेंगे तो फिर वो फ्लॉपी हो जाएगा ना. नहीं, we are not donkeys. We have the biggest brains in the animal kingdom. Even if you decide to give the worst, you will not give the worst. You will give the best. The trick is just to remove the anxiety, fear, dilemma, hesitation from your mind, because that refrains you from giving you the best. What Usain Bolt did during the finals. All right. And so use the word experiment. The moment you use the word experiment, अरे ये ना एक experiment में कर रहा हूँ, तो would you like to participate in this experiment? Now what will people say? अच्छा, the moment you use the word experiment, there is a 50% probability of winning or losing. Yes, flop or hit. So people's feedback will change. But if you say, I have a startup idea, तुरंत लोग बोले ये पागल है क्या, ये सब मत कर, ऐसा कि तू जॉब कर, ऐसा अभी तक किसी ने ये किया ही नहीं है, ये आइडिया तो फालतू है. But if you use the word experiment, people will see it differently. All right. So 2 things I want you to remember is use the reverse psychology. When there is casual meeting, casual get together of friends, think that you are giving a talk in front of Narendra Modi. It's your performance and not practice, and become very serious. And where you're actually on the mic, on a podium, and there are 1,000 people in the audience, think कि आप एक कमरे में बैठे हो, किचन में बैठे हो, अपनी माँ के साथ, अपने भाई के साथ टाइम पास कर रहे हो, और आपको पागलपन करना है. You have to give the worst version, एकदम वाहियात घटिया टॉक देना है. That's why my talks really go good and people like it. This is my secret. One real life story. So people get inspired through your actions, not through your words. Very good example. So there was a birthday party in Booklet house. It was, I think, Parth's birthday, and there was one guy called Sanket Subedar who had come to Booklet house for the first time to meet me. He was one of the Booklet readers. And so I asked him that please participate in the birthday party. He was about to cut the cake in 5 minutes. So bola theek hai. So we have this a pretty big room where we get together, and the cake kata usne birthday boy ne sabko khila raha tha. And so I'm on a 0 sugar diet. Okay, I don't eat sweet or anything. But because it was his birthday and I didn't want to hurt him, so I asked him to give me a small piece, okay, of cake. And instead of giving me in my hand, he put it in my mouth. So I was expecting him to give the piece of cake in my hand so that I'll pretend to eat, but I'll not eat. But he put it directly in my mouth. All right. So I pretended to chew it and gulp it, but actually I did not swallow it. The piece of cake was inside my mouth, and I secretly, without anybody's notice, escaped from the crowd and spit it out in the trash bin. All right. And everything happened, and suddenly that Sanket guy disappeared. After 6 months, he came back to meet me, and I saw him great transformation. He was very obese and overweight, and he looked so slim. He must have lost almost 15 kg. And I was so delighted to see him. Sanket, what happened? Wow, you're looking so handsome. You have lost the double chin and flappy arms, and your skin is glowing. And he said, I had come here 6 months ago. I said, yes, I remember. And everybody ate the cake except you. And I saw what you did that day. That you secretly spit that piece of cake. You did not even eat that one tiny piece of cake. And that inspired me a lot. That you are the booklet guy, not only because you read books, but because every action that you take when nobody is watching you, the character that we play when nobody is watching us. And that delighted me so much. I mean, I got tears of joy that unknowingly somebody got inspired by this tiny stupid action. And I learned that people get inspired through your actions, not through your words. And hence these people like life coach जो होते हैं, या those who complain कि मेरे पास audience नहीं आता है, मैं तो इतने अच्छा content देता हूँ, I'm a content creator, या फिर I'm a motivational speaker. Only by speaking, people are not going to get motivated. What do you have on the table? If you have a successful startup, okay, in the past, and then you are giving that knowledge to those people through your motivational talks, that's okay. But only talking and tag yourself as a motivational speaker probably won't help in the long run. Maybe shuru mein people will get delighted, they will clap. But if you don't have any substance to show that this is what I have done, this is what I have worked, this is the business that I started, I grew and I sold out for millions of dollars. And now I don't want to start a new startup. I want to give it back to the society by teaching the lessons of what I learned from my past experience in the startup. That makes sense, right? So when I somebody says that I'm a motivational speaker, I said, okay, but what do you do? No, I'm a motivational speaker. That is only speaking. What do you do? Right? So speaking is not doing. Like right now I'm speaking, but that's not main part of my job. Okay, I'm just telling you what I'm doing. I'm not just telling you for the sake of telling. Yeah, I'm telling you what I implemented. I'm telling you about the actions that I took in last 5-7 years. Got it? This is an extra thing because I don't want to keep it as a secret. What things that have worked for me, if I keep it as a secret, you are not going to benefit out of it. So this is just one extra step that I really want you to imitate my actions so that if it has helped for me, probably it will help you as well. That's all. That's the only expectation. Another interesting story about, I just started Booklet in 2015. Fareed, I think, had not joined yet. I was all alone. And there was some hardly 20,000 people with me. Only 20,000. Now, abhi to 50 lakh log hai. It just started. Things were not going smoothly. There were ups and downs. I was not very sure about the idea. It was a very nascent stage. And there was a contest, startup contest in Vashi, Navi Mumbai, where 100 applications from different startups were received by that competition. And somebody enrolled my name without telling me. And she said, no, you go and participate, try it out now. There are investors as judges. So if they like your idea, they will invest. I said, why? I don't want an investment. I have nothing right now to show on the table. I've just started on WhatsApp. Booklet app bhi nahi. Booklet app to 1 saal ke baad hua tha. I had just started on WhatsApp and there were some 10-20,000 people on WhatsApp. I was just sharing the book summaries. And it was a 1 or 2 months old, not even a startup. It was just an activity on WhatsApp. Stupid activity, time pass ke liye kuch karna hai. And she insisted, no, jaake participate to karo. So I went and all people from IIT, Bombay, big suit mein aaye the, chakachak leather shoes. There were teams of 3-4 people in each startup, and I was all alone. And everybody was, practicing their pitch. So somebody asked me, do you have a pitch deck? So what is a pitch deck? A pitch deck was a PowerPoint presentation of what you are going to speak about your startup. I said, no, I don't have a PowerPoint presentation. पागल है क्या? PowerPoint presentation तो चाहिए, वरना तू तो गया. The panel judges will not like you. You'll be kicked off. तो मैं डर गया. अरे ऐसा भी होता है क्या? The pitch deck word was completely new to me. एंड तेरा को फाउंडर किधर है? को फाउंडर नहीं, मैं अकेला ही हूँ। अरे नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होता है, को फाउंडर चाहिए, द जजेस विल ट्रस्ट कि कोई देयर आर टू एक्सपर्ट पीपल, वन इज एन आईटी गाय, वन इज नॉन आईटी गाय, तो गुड कॉम्बिनेशन। ऐसा नहीं, ऐसा तो कुछ नहीं है। तो तेरा क्या है, तेरा कुछ प्रोटोटाइप है? तो वो क्या होता है प्रोटोटाइप? प्रोटोटाइप मतलब मिनिमम वायबल प्रोडक्ट। तो वो क्या होता है ना, ऑल दिस टेक्निकल वर्ड सब बाउंसर जा रहा था मुझे। जैसे देख, मैं ये सिर्फ व्हाट्सएप पे भेज रहा हूँ, देख व्हाट्सएप पे भेज रहा है, तो ये काय का स्टार्टअप है? So it was all no unusual things, and I was like a limbu timbu, beginner in that crowd. So मैं पूरा सहमा सहमा, I was thinking that I should go back. Let's इधर अपना कुछ होने वाला नहीं है. So let's leave. But somehow I just no stayed put there, and मेरा कुछ so, there are 100 applications and मेरा कुछ 95th number आया. So I was so bored the whole day. Half of the day I was there, and finally my turn came, and there were some four people as judges, and I just told about how this idea came to my mind, that I was in depression. I had three failed startups in a row. You know the story that I have shared in TED Talk, or you must have heard it a lot of times, and how this fourth idea of book summaries came at a Bahubali theater, thanks to my CA friend. And since then, I'm sharing book summaries on WhatsApp. And then how I'm getting that higher purpose, that of reading habit. Book summaries, I don't stand for book summaries, I stand for reading habit. ये सब मैंने बताया, the entire story. Then the question answer came. I said, I don't have a PowerPoint. This is the story I wanted to share, my own experience. तो एक जज ने पूछा कि so they were all investors. Okay. They wanted to invest in the best startups. तो एक जज ने पूछा कि so what do you want from us? How much money do you want? I said I don't want any money because अभी तो कुछ है नहीं, बस it's in the nascent stage. If I take any investment from any venture capitalist or angel investor, then unnecessarily I'll find reasons to spend money. अभी तो WhatsApp पे करना है, तो WhatsApp is free. बुक्स का खर्चा इतना है नहीं, बुक्स तो चलो मिल जाएंगे किधर से बोरो करके. आई डोंट हैव टू स्पेंड लॉट ऑन बुक्स, सो आई डोंट वांट मनी. देन दे आस्क्ड, देन व्हाई आर यू हियर फॉर? दे वर सरप्राइज दैट ये सामने से बोल रहे कि पैसा नहीं चाहिए. बोला पैसा नहीं चाहिए, ऐसा नहीं है, अभी नहीं चाहिए, बिकॉज आई डोंट थिंक इट इज द राइट टाइम टू रेज फंड्स. तो क्या चाहिए तुझे? मतलब जस्ट हेल्प मी. इफ यू आर ऑन ट्विटर, just tell people that I'm on a mission, make India read, and I share book summaries on WhatsApp, and you can share my WhatsApp number. That's all. And everybody laughed. I said, okay, fine, okay, you can leave now. I said, thank you. और उसके बाद there was a gap of 2-3 hours. शाम को prize distribution था. So during the lunch time, कुछ दोस्त हो गए थे मेरे स्टार्टअप के. तो जो द स्टार्टअप ग्रुप विच वाज वेरी कॉन्फिडेंट, तो भी उनके साथ रहा ताकि उनसे कुछ सीखने को मिले. दे वेरी कॉन्फिडेंट कि उनको फर्स्ट प्राइज मिलेगा. दे हैड एन अमेजिंग आइडिया ऑफ सम आईटी का कुछ प्रोडक्ट था. सो दे सेड चलो हमारा ऑफिस बाजू पे ही है, तुम आ जाओ खाना खाने. तो उनके पास उनके साथ खाना खाने गया. एंड देन आई टोल्ड देम दैट अभी मैं प्राइज डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन को नहीं आऊंगा शाम को, मैं डायरेक्ट घर जाता हूँ. तो बोले नहीं 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 नहीं, हमारा अभी फर्स्ट प्राइज आने वाला है, तुमको आना पड़ेगा. You have to come to clap. I said, okay, चलो अभी दोस्ती हुई है तो मैं आता हूँ. And then the third prize was declared, which was the team with whom I was for lunch. They were declared as third. There was second startup which was declared as second prize, and the first prize was declared as Booklet Mission Make India Read. And I was like, what? That was the biggest surprise of my life. That how is that possible? No PowerPoint, and I was with my 10-year-old T-shirt and jeans. I was not wearing a suit. And one of the judges gave a speech after declaring me as the best startup, that this was the only person who did not ask for money, and he did not share any numbers. There was no projection. तो आजकल प्रोजेक्शन रहते ना, मैं ऐसा फिर 2 साल में इतना सेल्स होगा, फिर इतने ब्रांचेस निकलेंगे, फिर इतने यूजर्स होंगे, 10 साल तक यूनिकॉर्न होगा, आपको 10x रिटर्न्स. दिस ऑल ऑन पेपर. दिस एक्चुअली डजंट हैपन इन रियल लाइफ. सबको पता रहता है. और वो एक्सेल शीट में प्रोजेक्शंस और बार चार्ट्स और सब एकदम फैंसी चीजें बनाते, पाई चार्ट्स एंड ऑल, तो वो सब नहीं था, तो उनको वो अच्छा लगा. So the message that I learned from the judges is that people love simplicity, people love authenticity. They are human beings. They don't want to get impressed, but they want, true passionate people, passionate about something other than money. You don't have to prove that you can make money for them, that you are going to double their money. No, they are not looking for people who are passionate for money. They are looking for people who are passionate for something other than money. Right? And I think that was the biggest lesson. Since that episode, I got so much of confidence that prize gave me so much of confidence that I'm on the right track. Even though I don't know all the technical things, that these are things that are happening in the startup ecosystem, and yet I got the first prize. That means I'm on the right track. All right. Acha, anybody has a story to share? Because I have a lot of stories, but I want to listen to a story. It could be an experience in any language. Anybody, please? No? Come on, the world is not made of atoms and molecules. The world is made of stories. Want to share something? One very interesting story I learned. The story is based on the concept called survival bias. Very famous mathematician was part of the US Army, and US Army was facing a very serious problem. Whenever the aircrafts used to go on a war, okay, very few used to come back. There was a huge what do you call it? They were facing a huge problem of the Air Force pilots coming back along with their aircrafts. So that was a serious situation, and things were getting tense day by day. So they started observing the helicopters and planes which came back safely after the war, and they studied कि कहाँ पे bullets लग रहे हैं. All right, and they observed that the bullets are mostly on the wings and not on the main body of the aircraft. So they thought that if we make the wings stronger by putting more metal and make it stronger, then the survival will increase so that the planes will come back. But you know what the mathematician said? He's a very renowned mathematician and quant analyst. He said, no, the fact that this aircraft came back in spite of the bullets on the wings, that means the flights that did not come back were shot on the middle of the body. Get my point? उल्टा करना है. अगर विंग्स पे बुलेट लग के अगर एयरक्राफ्ट वापस आ रहा है, then wings are not the important part. उसको स्ट्रांग नहीं बनाना है, बॉडी को स्ट्रांग बनाना है, बिकॉज बॉडी में शायद वो प्लेन जो वापस नहीं आए उनके बॉडी पे बुलेट्स लगे और इसलिए वो वापस नहीं आए. दिस इज सर्वाइवल बायस कि आपको जो दिखता है आंखों को, आपको लगता है यही करना है. गॉट इट? आई थिंक इट्स एन एक्सीलेंट एग्जांपल वेयर we think that this is the obvious solution, but no, actually the opposite is the real solution. Got it? So I hats off to that mathematician. I don't remember his name. That this thinking is not easy. It's not easy, right? You have to think opposite. Again, this is connected to reverse psychology. All right. So whenever you get an idea, do the opposite and try it out. Red Bull is a very good example. Yeah, Red Bull just defied all the norms of the aerated drink industry. Yeah, Coca-Cola is tasty, cheap, and comes in large quantity. Red Bull did exactly the opposite. It came in smaller quantity, in tins, very expensive. 300 rupees ka ek tin aata hai, and taste is disgusting. It doesn't taste great, Red Bull. And suddenly, they're catering a very different audience. It's an energy drink. I consume Red Bull only during night driving. When I'm not sure that I might go to sleep while driving, and that's the most dangerous thing to do. I carry a Red Bull tin. I'm a completely different audience. I can't rely on Coca-Cola and Pepsi. Right? And sportsmen started using it to boost their energy during the performance. See, suddenly a completely new target audience. Yeah, and they're doing really very well. So do the opposite and you might know, have a tough competition to these big guys, conventional guys in the industry. All right. Uh, Very emotional anecdote that happened with me. So I was invited in Pune in a girls' college. There's a girls' college, there are 1,500 girls, only girls. And they arranged my accommodation in the girls' hostel. So I was the only guy in the entire girls' hostel. So I thought this must be a normal practice for these people. जो भी guest lecturer होता है, guest speaker होता है, उनका रहने का इंतजाम girls hostel में करते होंगे. But I later on realized that no, usually the guests का जो accommodation होता है वो कहीं hotel में होता है, कहीं और होता है. But I was the first guy, a man, जिसका accommodation was arranged in girls hostel. And I asked the principal that why did you do that? I said we trust you. A guy who reads so many books and I've watched all your TED talks. I thought it's very safe. And हमने ज़्यादा कुछ सोचा नहीं. There was a very beautiful guest room in the girls' hostel, and the experience was so funny. So my breakfast was arranged in the mess. वहाँ सब लड़कियाँ, एक भी लड़का नहीं, सिर्फ सब लड़कियाँ. And I was the only guy. I did my exercise in the morning and I was walking to have breakfast. I was walking towards the mess. All the girls were watching at me. Like, and मैं literally मुझे शर्म के बारे में ऐसे गर्दन नीचे झुका के चल रहा था. And I could feel कि जब लड़कियां रास्ते पे चलती है और मर्द लोग ऐसे गंदी नजर से उनको देखते तो उनको क्या लगता होगा. I really could empathize that moment. एक मर्द होके अगर मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है तो औरतों को कैसे लगता होगा. And I talked about this in my session. I really felt how a woman must be going through when she walks through through the strangers in an unknown area and people are staring at her. Yeah. And one more interesting thing happened was, there are some 500 students were expected in that speech. My speech was arranged in a huge auditorium. There are 500 chairs का arrangement हुआ था उधर, and only 4 girls turned up. Only 4 girls. Because it was at a very initial stage, so nobody knew me much. It was the first year of Booklet, Make India Read. And principal felt very bad. She started apologizing that Amrut, I'm really sorry. Students did not turn up. मैंने तो सबको emails में डाले थे, सब promotion किया था तुम्हारे talk के बारे में, पर कोई आया नहीं. I'm sorry, let's cancel it. If you want, we can cancel it. I said, no, why cancel? There are 4 girls. I talk with the same amount of enthusiasm. Okay, I don't care about the number. 4 लोग भी है तो उनको मुझे अभी inspire करना है to cultivate reading habit. So I started my talk. और ना कुछ 20 मिनट के बाद मेरा कुछ गले में कुछ खराश आने लगा. I don't know. I started coughing. कुछ गले में ना वो मैंने सौंफ खाया था, बड़ी शेप जिसको हम बोलते हैं. That was troubling me. So I said, can I take a 5-10 minute break? थोड़ा मैं गर्म पानी पी के then I'll come back. So we took a break of 10 minutes. By the time I had already talked for 20-25 minutes and I was supposed to talk for another 1 hour. And when I came back, the hall was completely filled with 500 students. I was shocked. So हुआ क्या हुआ? उस वक्त जो 4 लड़कियां वो listening to me, they must have put a message on their groups and forwarded the message to all the girls in the hostel, in the college, and they all came to attend it. They must have shared my video or I don't know what. And had I said no to the lecture because there are only 4 people, तो ये नहीं होता ना. So see how you always have to start with any number that you get. Set aside the ego. एक भी अगर कोई audience में रहता है तो you have to talk with same amount of enthusiasm and charisma. Yeah. And literally by the end of the talk, chairs कम पड़ रहे थे. कुछ लोग खड़े थे, professors भी आ गए, बाजू के college के लोग आए. इतना भरा हुआ था hall कि बैठने को जगह नहीं थी. Yeah, and I think there's a very memorable incident that happened with me. And so similar incidents happened with one of my friends. Her name is Shreya. She lives in Pune. And she conducts pregnancy courses in maternity hospitals. So there is one maternity hospital near my house. She comes here to take courses of 2, 3, 4 hours for the couples who are expecting babies. And every time when she comes, she meets me. So today it was the course, so she met me in the morning. And हमेशा वो फोन करती थी, अमृत मैं संडे को आ रही हूँ पूना से, सो वो कोर्स होने के बाद आई विल कम एंड मीट यू. आई सेड ओके. एंड देन 2 days prior she used to call me कि अमृत आई एम नॉट कमिंग. एक बार हुआ, 2 बार हुआ, 3 बार हुआ, मतलब ऐसा क्यों है, तू हमेशा बोलती है कि आऊंगी एंड देन यू डोंट मीट मी. से नहीं, वो ना क्या हुआ कि सिर्फ 2 ही कपल्स एनरोल हुए, तो वो फिर कैंसिल किया मैंने कोर्स. क्योंकि फिर लोग ही नहीं आए तो फिर कोर्स लेने में मतलब क्या है. कभी कुछ कम हो रहा है, कुछ कर रही हूँ मैं, उस पर काम कर रही हूँ. व्हाई देयर आर सो लेस एनरोलमेंट्स, लेस रजिस्ट्रेशंस. एंड देन आई डिस्कस दिस प्रॉब्लम विद फरीद कि ना ये ऐसा बोलती है मुझे. एंड देन फरीद रिकलेक्टेड दिस स्टोरी दैट आई शेयर विथ यू कि अमृत, वो जो 2 कपल्स जिन्होंने एनरोल किया, उन्होंने भी तो नेगेटिव मार्केटिंग किया कि अरे ये कोर्स कैंसिल हो गया. 1 बार हुआ, 2 बार हुआ, 3 बार हुआ, राइट. वो 2 कपल्स को भी अगर शी वुड हैव गिवन विद फुल एनर्जी, विद लॉट्स ऑफ एम्पैथी एंड पैशन, एटलीस्ट वो 2 कपल तो वर्ड ऑफ माउथ करेंगे, मार्केटिंग करेंगे, और नेक्स्ट क्लास में ज्यादा लोग आएंगे. आर यू गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? So she was lost in that vicious circle that because there is not much enrollment, she is cancelling the course. But the other way is also equally true. Because she is cancelling the course, people are not coming for the next time. Got it? Because वो जो 2 couples जिन्होंने enroll किया, they are not less important ना. उनकी क्या गलती है कि बाकी के लोगों ने enroll नहीं किया? उनको क्या पड़ी है? उन्होंने तो ईमानदारी से with good faith enroll किया था. It was your duty to come from Pune, even if it's a loss-making course. उसका ट्रैवलिंग का खर्चा भी तुम्हारा नहीं कवर हो रहा है, फिर भी you have to come and deliver what you promised. Yeah, a very, very respectable man called Yajwendra Mahajan, who is my mentor, my Adarsh, मेरा भगवान है वो. He lives in Jalgaon, very young chap, and he had told me. I asked him that, give me one advice, only one advice in one line. तो मुझे कोई फिलॉसफी नहीं चाहिए. एंड ही सेड इन मराठी की दिलेला शब्द आणि दिलेली वेळ पाळणे. दैट्स ऑल. दिलेला शब्द आणि दिलेली वेळ पाळणे, मतलब द वर्ड दैट यू गिव एंड द टाइम दैट यू गिव, कमिटमेंट, जस्ट कीप द प्रॉमिस दैट यू गिव. एंड व्हेन यू से शब्द किंवा कमिटमेंट, it's not just about the sessions and the meeting time. It's also Ranjit called me and I said, I'm a little busy, Ranjit, I'll call you after 15 minutes. And then I don't call him back. This is also detrimental to your career, to your values. This is also, the other person takes it as a commitment. He will think, अरे 15 मिनट के बाद फोन करेगा बोला और किया नहीं. My credibility has gone down by 1%. All these small things where we fail to keep promises. Other person takes it as a commitment, as a promise, although we take it as a casual statement. All right. If you have given a time of 7 o'clock for the meeting, and if you think you are going to be late by 5 minutes, tell him that instead of 7, I'll be reaching by 7:05. It will make a lot of difference. Ideally, reach on time, but for some reasons, if you're not able to reach on time, tell them that I'll be there by 7:05. Don't say I'll be late by 5 minutes. Say that I'll be there by 7:05 instead of 7. Be specific. Right. I've observed that many people, when I'm at the airport, there are some less educated, illiterate people who are traveling for the first time. कुछ रूरल एरिया के लोग रहते हैं ना, कभी कभी अकेले जाते हैं, फर्स्ट टाइम जा रहे, यूएस जा रहे, इंग्लैंड जा रहे, बहुत सहमे से रहते हैं, दे आर कंफ्यूज. एंड मुंबई एयरपोर्ट बीइंग अ साइलेंट एयरपोर्ट, वहां पे अनाउंसमेंट भी नहीं होता है, नाम का वगैरह कुछ भी नहीं होता है. मुंबई एयरपोर्ट इज अ साइलेंट एयरपोर्ट. So I've observed that whenever I'm sitting in the lobby at the airport, most of these people who are confused, they come to me for guidance, even if there are other people sitting besides me. And I was wondering, ऐसा क्यों? ऐसा नहीं, मुझे जानते हैं कि ऐसा भी नहीं. Those illiterate people, I doubt they really know Booklet guy. And so I asked one lady, I think she was from Dhule or Nanded, and she was traveling for the first time. So I spoke to her in Marathi because she spoke in Marathi. And then I asked her, I guided her कि ऐसा ऐसा करना है, immigration कैसे होता है. I told her ये baggage security ऐसा होता है. So I guided her. And then I asked her that कि there are many people sitting around. Why did you approach me only? You know what she said? That I saw a book in your hand. You're reading a book. So I thought that you're more trustworthy, that you're knowledgeable than other people. Other people are in their mobile phones, but you have a book in your hand. An illiterate person can notice this. She knows that a person who is reading a book is more reliable, more trustworthy than other people. Very interesting, right? Yeah. See, I mean, that's why I make sure that I live my why. I just don't talk about my why. I live my why every moment. You never know when can take inspiration from you. So you'll never see me without a book in my under my arm when you see me out wherever. But when you are here to meet me, you'll never see me with a book because I'll give you full undivided attention to you because you are more important to me than a book when you are with me. Uh, I have a nephew, my sister's son, who lives in US, and he was fond of chess. So when he was very young, 6 year old, he used to come on vacations to India, and used to live with me for 3 months, 4 months. And I used to enroll him in a chess tuition classes. And I used to drop him and pick him. And the chess classes was in some school, and the school had a playground. And then there was a road where I used to park my car. So once his timing was 6 to 8, I used to drop him at 6 and go back and pick him at 8 o'clock. So because there was a playground between the school and the road, I used to stay in the car itself, and then I used to wave him that okay, I'm here. You can come into the car once your class is over. So once I was sitting in the car waiting for him, he came out with his friends and his friends' parents, and they were chit chatting. I was waiting for him in the car, and one of the friend's parent offered him a cookie, some biscuit or cookie. And Gandhar, his name is Gandhar. My nephew's name is Gandhar. He looked at me and said that, "Aisa kuch kya? Can I eat?" Because he was far away, I was not able to hear him. He was making gestures. So I said, yeah, go ahead, have it. And he ate that cookie. Another mother offered I don't know what, some chocolate or farsan or some cookie. Again, he did some ishara to me that, he calls me mama. So asa kaitari karun, I said, now I was little getting impatient. Kiti khato is, how selfish is that? Just taking. But I said, okay, fine, go ahead and eat. Third time happened. Mentally, I was getting furious. Now, again, he made the gesture, mama. He was doing this way, pointing towards me, and I said that I lost my temper. I said, "Tu ye atta माझ्याकडे, तुला बघतो मी." I was just waiting for him to come to the car, and he's going to get a big scolding from me. And I already lost my mind. He came inside and he shouted, "Arey mama, I was telling you that there is one biscuit packet in our car. Get it so that I can also give it to them." And I was like, oh my God. I judged him. He was telling me a completely different story and how I judged him. Yeah. See how we judge other people wrongly on the face value. That my nephew taught me a big lesson that day. Yeah, about judging others. It's so easy. We judge others by their actions and we judge ourselves by our intentions. Yeah, very important lesson I learned, that we judge others by their actions and we judge ourselves by our intentions. मतलब क्या? सामने वाले ने कुछ गलती की, हमको गाली दी, फोन नहीं उठाया, कॉल बैक नहीं किया, वो नालायक. पर हमसे वही गलती होती है, अरे नहीं यार, समझा करो यार, मेरा तुमको दिल दुखाने का इरादा नहीं था, माय इंटेंशन वैसा नहीं था. सी these आर द वर्ड्स. कुछ गलती होती है, अरे वो तो मैं जोक मजाक में बोला था, इट वाज सरकाजम. These are the typical justification statements that we give to cover up our mistake. Because we look ourselves, we judge ourselves through our intentions, and we judge others by their actions. जब सामने वाला कुछ गाली दे तो हम नहीं बोलता है कि नहीं रे उसने मुझे बहुत गालियां दी पर वो मन में उसके मेरे लिए प्यार है. नो, वी डोंट से दैट. वो हमारे लिए बोलते हैं, हम दूसरों के लिए नहीं. वी हैव टू स्विच. You have to judge others by their intention and judge ourselves by our action. All right. I think this incident I had shared or not. I'm not sure. So I was invited by Times of India for some shoot. Authors. So Times of India is also publisher, and they have many authors attached to Times of India. You know, my reviews regularly come in Economic Times. Just 2 days ago, book reviews were there in Economic Times as well. So there was marketing head of Times of India, and he was introducing me to the big guys in the get together. There was some party after the shoot. I was the chief guest there, and he started introducing me. This is Amrut Deshmukh, his Booklet guy, and he goes to bed at 9:30. I said, hey, how come 9:30 becomes part of my introduction? I said, okay, fine. I did not react. Second guy, again, he started introducing me to the second guy. He's Amrut Deshmukh Booklet guy, and he goes to bed at 9:30 p.m. Again, the third guy, he's Amrut Deshmukh Booklet guy, he goes to bed at 9:30. Now I started getting frustrated. Not because my bedtime had become part of my introduction, but because of one thing, that the night prior, I had gone to bed at 11 p.m. And that was making me feel uneasy, that keeping silent is as good as a lie. Yes, I go to bed at 9:30. That's a norm there, but there are exceptions. And ek raat pehle I had lost my discipline. I don't know, maybe I was watching Netflix or something, and I went to bed at 11 o'clock. And keeping silent was troubling me. That ideally I should speak up that aisa nahi hai. At times, even I fall prey to indiscipline. I fall prey to the attractions. I'm not a perfect guy. I'm trying to be a disciplined person. So I think, these are the small things. And then I apologized that guy. I did not say it that day. But when I came back home, there was a guilt in my mind that why did I keep silent that day? Because he was saying it so passionately to everybody. The fact that he was saying that I go to bed at 9:30 means he wanted to say that I'm a very disciplined guy. But I was getting more and more guilty after every introduction. And then I apologized to him that the night prior I had gone to bed at 11 o'clock instead of 9:30. But yes, this is an exception and not the norm. So almost 25, 28 days out in a month, I do go to bed at 9:30.